Edward I, glorious hammer of the Scots, and architect of England's first state-sanctioned ethnic cleansing, a title less sung in patriotic ballads but oh so much darker. We're still in medieval England, so let's talk about how its Jewish population were treated. Spoiler alert. Badly. Very badly. Let's unpack how medieval England weaponized its Jewish population, then scapegoated them into oblivion. You see, the Jewish arrived in England in the late 11th century, not by accident but by royal invitation. William the Conqueror brought them over from Rouen, not because he fancied diversity, but because they were good at business, especially when it came to silver and lending money. Christians weren't allowed to lend money at interest, far too sinful. So the Jews got the gig by default. God said no, but the economy said, oh, absolutely yes. They didn't just lend, mind you. They changed money, crafted gold, and even built glorious stone homes. Lincoln and Bury St Edmunds owe them thanks for some truly posh real estate. Oh, and they introduced advanced medical knowledge. Even scholars like Roger Bacon sought Jewish teachings. But of course, England being England, we adored them, until we didn't. Because with history, some things never change. And in this case, it's moneylenders being very convenient, until your debt's due. They were technically under royal protection, but more like owned, really. The king's chattel. Couldn't own land, couldn't be citizens, but, oh yes, could be taxed to the eyeballs. And tax them they did, up to a third of their wealth at a time. Imagine your landlord doing that every year while claiming he's protecting you. Things took a horrific turn at Richard I's coronation. Anti-Semitic riots erupted. In York, 150 Jews chose death over mob violence, a haunting testament to the terror they faced. But why stop at riots? Medieval England levelled up to blood libels, fan fiction accusing Jews of ritual child murder. In 1255, when Hugh of Lincoln died, 19 Jews were hanged on zero evidence, because why let facts ruin a good purge? 100 more were imprisoned because one good injustice deserves another. In 1278, Edward jailed 600 Jews for coin clipping. 269 hanged. By 1290, he expelled all 2,000. Parliament cheered, swapping taxes for ethnic cleansing. Nothing like mass expulsion to unite the party. England, the first to invite the Jews, the first to expel them, and the first to write wild fan fiction about ritual murder. History, darlings? It isn't always tea and scones. So then, dear viewer, what did we learn today? We learned that medieval England invited the Jews in for their talents, taxed them for their success, blamed them for their misfortunes, and finally kicked them out when they'd squeezed the last penny from their pockets. All very civilized, really, if you're a shark in a powdered wig. We also learned that anti-Semitism wasn't just a nasty rumour whispered in dark corners, it was law, policy and public spectacle. And as sometimes with history, some of the truly ghastly bits come not from villains twirling moustaches, but from perfectly ordinary people doing what everyone else was doing. History is sometimes like a mirror, just slightly cracked and covered in blood. Follow for more history drenched in sarcasm and dread.